Listen, renters, I created a ringtone rap for you, right? And so I know how you feel. This is for you. This goes out to one of the best property managers. Ain't no one else out there that can hang with you. You got these apartments on lock. Your hustle don't quit and your game don't stop. I know you're sick of me not paying the rent. Got my check next thing you know my money's spent. But I know I got a reckon, and I'll have your money on the 22nd. Everyone, and welcome back to the Velocity channel. Listen, we address a subject that I'm certain of many individuals have considered as of late, and that would be the following housing market crash. All things considered, I believe it's nothing unexpected considering how a great deal has changed. So as of late, it was accounted that real estate prices have hit another unequaled, unparalleled record high across almost the whole country. All right. Meanwhile, the inventory has hit a record-breaking low. Now, this leaves purchasers paying way over the asking price for an opportunity to get the home of their dreams. So this makes for not only a seller's market, but a seller's fantasy, all right? Now, granted, it is kind of weird because at the same time, right, we have a lot of things going on. We got 2.6 million property holders. They're in some form of mortgage forbearance. 20 million rent occupants are still behind on their rent. Listen, renters, I created a ringtone rap for you, right? And so I know how you feel. But the greatest trump card from all of this is that interest rates are presently starting to go up. Now here's the thing. All throughout the whole history, there's constantly been a win and lose pattern of the housing market. And eventually there's going to be another crash. Now, despite the fact that we don't know precisely when and what will cause it, there are a few exercises that we could use from the past market corrections that anybody could apply today. So let's discuss precisely what's happening at the present time, the possibility of another stock market correction, right, in the not so distant future, how awful it would be, right, if it were to occur, and what you can do about it to make sure you don't lose cash, but rather bring in cash. Now remember, this channel is about cash flow. So there have been some serious crashes in the past, right? It can be overwhelming when the market goes down and you're underwater on your loan and the bank forecloses on you. Chances are most market plunges aren't as cataclysmic as you might think, all right? Now, as you might suspect, similar to one of those most famous market crashes occurred in the time of what? What's the most famous one? 1929, right? Just like the stock market topped out from speculation and borrowed money, the real estate market bottomed out along with everything else. Real estate values plunged by about 67%, and it required almost 25 to 30 years for real estate values to recuperate back to their pre-cash levels. And then once more, real estate experienced more trouble during the 1990s. Now, up to that point, the housing market was seeing an immense increase from new loaning alternatives. Expansion and developing populace was just taking over. However, the savings and loan prices caused interest rates to go up. New developments wound up going down and costs remained genuinely level until around 1997. Furthermore, the most recent crash that you probably don't remember is the Great Recession of 2008. Now, this brought about an excessive number of individuals theorizing on the estimation of real estate, energized by easy access to cash and adjustable rate mortgages that permitted anybody to purchase a home as long as they could simply make the introductory installments. I mean, I remember they had loans such as the ninja loans, where you didn't even have to have a job, income, or assets to apply. It was given strictly based off of your credit score, and this was the great contributor to the crash of 2008. Now, I remember a guy who would come on the radio all the time and warn people almost every day to get out of those arms before they bury you, the adjustable rate mortgages. You remember that? Nevertheless, a ton of those home loans had an abrupt balloon payment, which would enable the cost of that home to go up as well as. Nevertheless, a ton of those home loans had an abrupt balloon payment worked in, which would make the cost of that home loan soar following a couple of years. And as we know, that ended up being a fiasco. But as more property holders started defaulting on their installments when they couldn't sell, that ended up falling back on the bank, who couldn't pay the financial backers, known as investors, who purchased the loans in the first place, and that caused a close to the whole monetary structure. And so what happened next? Another bailout. That was set up, all right? However, now again in 2021, we are once again at another record unsurpassed high. Now the intriguing part is, except for 1929 and 2008, generally the cost of real estate, they've been fairly resilient. Like during and after the Second World War, during the 1940s, the price of real estate wound up taking off due to rising demand. At that point, during the 1970s stagflation time, where the market went down, real estate went up due to inflation. From that point forward, during the 1980s downturn, real estate went up 4.5% since inflation was still high. And then the 90s absolutely saw some housing markets going down in value, but that was restricted to around 10%. The dot-com bubble, right, likewise had next to no impact on real estate value as interest rates kept going down. But truth be told, in 2001, home costs moved to, at the time, an untouched high. However, now we have a plethora of difficulties that will directly affect the housing market. And with regards to the issues that are going on today, we have 3 challenges to overcome, okay? Are you ready? The first one is the 2.6 million property holders are in what is called mortgage forbearance. Okay, this simply means they've incidentally stopped their home loan installments until the situation dies down. Okay, the worry right now is that if those 2.6 million property holders can't make their home loan payments once the period is up, they risk going into foreclosure. If that occurs, that could be a flood of abandonments all over the market. The other belief is that homeowners may postpone listing their homes on the market while they're not making their payments, restricting the housing on the market and driving the prices even higher. In any case, fortunately, the home loan payment avoidance rate has been consistently diminishing month over month, which suggests that numerous property holders just took advantage of that law just in case. Okay, an overabundance of warning, of caution. And of course, the economy is recuperating as well, so that's a driving factor. But I want to talk to you about the new stimulus plan. Okay, the new stimulus plan would likewise extend mortgage forbearance and foreclosures throughout June. So despite the fact that it could very well be that will be compared to simply kicking the can, it does give individuals more opportunity to monetarily recuperate and recover financially, all right? Now, the subsequent concern has to do with the 20 million tenants in danger of being evicted. Now, wait a minute. Someone actually investigated this statement, and to make a long story short, they did a survey of 14.2 million families. And the families said they didn't feel confident they could make the rent payment. 0.2 million families equate to 20 million tenants. But just because you don't feel confident you can make the rent payment doesn't mean you won't make the rent payment, right? So indeed, on the off chance that we proceed to utilize genuine information from the National Multifamily Housing Council, we could see that more than 93% of inhabitants are still paying their rent. So despite the fact that some articles aren't exactly accurate, the renters who are behind on their rent are a genuine concern. And with regards to that, the normal delinquent tenant is almost 4 months behind on their installments. On average, they owe $5,600, and altogether, $57 billion of rent has gone neglected. Presently, that was addressed in the forthcoming stimulus package, which would allocate $20 billion in rental help. Now, of course, we'll see where that goes, right? As far as helping both renters and landlords. Third, the interest rates are going up. You see, the more interest rates go up, the higher the prices go in real estate. Presently, the counter contention to this is that when interest rates go up, that means the economy is progressing admirably, which could unintentionally benefit real estate. It's actually too soon to actually perceive what kind of impact this will have on real estate values, seeing that this is an artificial economy. Anyway, all things considered, along these lines, given all the vulnerability out